on various social issues in the past. He wore a hoodie along with the rest of the Miami Heat team after Trayvon Martin's death and an I Can't Breathe t-shirt in honor of Eric Gardner last week. He was asked about another social issue that hit close to home. A grand jury declining to charge a Cleveland patrolman who fatally shot 12-year-old Tamir Rice back in 2014. Here's what he had to say. For me, I've always been a guy who's took pride in knowledge of every situation that I've ever spoke on. And to be honest, I haven't really been on top of this issue, so it's hard for me to comment. I understand that any lives that are lost, what we want more than anything is prayer and the best for the family, for anyone. But for me to comment on the situation, I don't have enough knowledge about it. This response disappointed Tamir Rice's mother, who appeared on News 1 Now with Roland Martin.
It's quite sad that LeBron haven't spoke out about my son. I'm not asking him to sit out a game. I know his kids got to eat too, but you can at least put a shirt on or something. Some of the other athletes, some of them been saying something, some of them haven't. I think they should just make a statement. You know, I'm not asking nobody to, quit their job or anything, but make a statement for us black people out here. You know what I'm saying?
Stephen A., what's your reaction?
Well, my reaction is, to be quite honest with you, first of all, my heart goes out to Tamir Rice. He's and his family. He's 12 years old, and he's gone. And obviously, that is a mother who is mourning the loss of her child. And so we have to address that with the level of sensitivity that it deserves, because for anybody out there who's lost a child, who's lost a loved one, period, it's a devastating blow. And we understand that. Having said all of that, it doesn't make her right. And in this particular instance, I think calling out LeBron James was not only wrong, but incredibly, incredibly unfair. LeBron James is one of those athletes who has not been shy about addressing sensitive issues with the level of sensitivity it deserves. When Trayvon Martin was gunned down, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, and the entire roster on the Miami Heat all wore hoodies to bring attention to that situation, like you just articulated. When Eric Garner lost his life after being suffocated in Staten Island, what happened then? LeBron James, Derrick Rose, and so many others wore I Can't Breathe t-shirts, bringing attention to that issue. On numerous occasions throughout his career, LeBron has spoke out about the plight of the black community as it pertains to violence and how things need to be addressed. And so in this particular instance, she wants him to come forward and do that involving her son. And he openly admitted that he wasn't extremely knowledgeable about the case. Well, others are, others that I have spoken to. And certainly there are things that need to be addressed. I just got off the phone, Skip, with one of my dearest friends in the world, Karen Hunt, who's got her own show on Sirius XM. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner, a best-selling author. She's got her own radio show, on an Urban View, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock every day. She and I go back more than 25 years. She's like a big sister to me. And she's obviously on top of stuff like this. And she and I were talking about it. And there are legitimate concerns about the case because the kid was 12 years old and he was shot. However, we've read the Facebook post from our friend, here at ESPN when he wrote about, that's right, Robert Smith, when he wrote about how, you got to take all of the information into consideration. Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old. He was carrying a gun, a fake pistol. It was called an airsoft replica gun resembling a semi-automatic weapon. Now, the police officer who shot him, some guy named Timothy Loman, he was a police officer in training, okay? And at that particular moment, there's no excuse to me how you could get out and just start shooting because they discovered that he started shooting within 2 seconds. And to me, the prosecutor should be brought to bear because prosecutor Tim McGinty decided to advise the grand jury not to press charges. Basically, it was his decision. Hey, I don't think we should press charges. And all the black community is asking for is to at least investigate the matter and look into it and let it go to a jury. Let the investigation continue forward. Let's find out indeed what truly happened. But if you're LeBron James, how in God's name are you supposed to decipher all of that? You're a law-abiding citizen. You recognize the violence that exists within the black community. You recognize that some officers are black, some officers are Hispanic. You recognize that by and large, there are police officers who go out there doing their job every day, and the transgressions of a few shouldn't taint an entire institution of law enforcement officials. If you're LeBron James, you have to be responsible enough to take those things into consideration, which is exactly what he did. Not only that, the FBI investigated. They had their video surveillance. That was thrown into the equation. You also have to remember that the FBI answers to an attorney general who happens to be black. The 83rd attorney general nominated in the United States. Her name is Loretta Lynch. She answers to a president who happens to be black. So you've got all of this going on. LeBron takes all of that into consideration. He's going by what he heard, but at the same time, he's recognizing that there are still things that are coming out, and he pauses for a second to say, I don't know. More importantly, I can't comment on everything. Those weren't his words. I'm saying that. He can't comment on everything because in the end, he's a basketball player. He's an elite athlete. He has his feelings. He has his emotions. He certainly has his sensitivities. And for somebody who is black, I am here to tell you, he has conveyed that on many occasions publicly. So as much as I respect and am sensitive to what the mother of Tamir Rice is trying to say in terms of bringing attention to a particular cause that obviously is near and dear to her heart, and we all understand and empathize and sympathize with her unconscionable pain, to call out LeBron James, of all people, considering how conscientious this brother is when he clearly doesn't have to be because he is doing just fine, I think was wrong. He does not deserve that. LeBron James has more than shown the appropriate level of sensitivity on a bevy of issues permeating our community throughout his career. I'm proud of him. Most people should be proud of him. And for her to say that about him, I just thought was wrong and beyond the pale. She had no business doing that. I'm sorry.
Stephen A., I'm just going to defer to you on this one. As I often tell you, I wouldn't for 1 second pretend to know how you feel about this kind of issue or how LeBron James should feel about this type of issue or how, God only knows, this mother of this 12-year-old feels about this issue. I can't even fathom remotely the agony this woman is feeling over the loss of her 12-year-old and the circumstances under which it happened. I hurt for her in the only way I know how, from a distance. And I don't blame her for what she said. Emotion